Oh my God, I love this. I love this. This is my favorite TikTok.
One. Hands up.
Watch it fall, watch it fall. The look of pain. I so get it. I'm a professional baker, clearly, and today I'm gonna react to baking moments in television shows and movies. We're gonna see if I can fix these people's mistakes.
What are you?
An idiot sandwich.
We're gonna see if I can tell you why did that cake fall down the stairs, because that's never happened to me. Stay tuned to the end of this video because I am going to rank my favorite baking f***up. Our first clip is from Cake Boss, which this show was wild. I think this show actually is responsible for putting baking, specifically cake baking, on the map. Because before 2000s, no one knew about cakes. I have a hunch this is gonna involve a fail because half of Cake Boss was like them pretending to drop cakes.
Bottom should be very
It's crazy that the Cake Boss is so straight. Because when I think of bakers, this is I don't think like heterosexuality.
Like that's okay. I like
This cake is, this couldn't be more early 2000s. I feel like this is a very Paris Hilton birthday cake. You, Cousin Anthony, oh no, we're gonna get a drop. I know we're gonna get a drop. Look at the acting performance on this. They're like, oh, we've never moved a cake before.
Oh, the thing is heavy, man.
Why are they opening the door? No, not the staircase. Look at him push that cake.
I got the board. What happened? You let go? You got the board, but not the cake.
He pushed it.
What the hell happened?
Oh my God, and all the women in the bakery, what happened? Literally the worst acting I've ever seen. Okay, I'm gonna pause this. We gotta talk about Cake Boss. No shade to Cake Boss, this is fake. And what bothers me about this is like, it's not just like clearly fake, it's like some of the worst acting you've ever seen. Also, that cake didn't just fall, like, you wouldn't be taking a tiered cake down the stairs like that, first of all. Second of all, you would put a center dowel through the entire cake so it wouldn't tip like that. Like any old cake baker knows that. The Cake Boss definitely knows that. Oh, he's pissed. No, okay, if they're gonna try to make me believe that they remade that whole like 4-tier cake that same day, you can't do that. It's not even possible, you'd have to rebake it from scratch.
This cake took us days to do. And
It took us days to do. And these two morons, this reminds me of my Italian uncles.
I don't want to hear it. Come on, mind it. There.
Oh, he's pissed, he's throwing out that, but why would he throw out the bottom tier? That was good. Now he has to remake the bottom tier. And now it's a group effort. Look at group effort. They're pretending they're painting all of these details and cutting all the fondant and doing it all. It's just a lie. Besides this being clearly fake, in my expert opinion, I will say if this was real, then what they should have done is put a center dowel through the entire cake so that all 4 or 5 of those tiers were connected. So if there's a bit of tipping, it wouldn't fall completely over. Speaking of angry Italians, let's move on to our next clip. This one from The Big Night, one of my favorite movies. Oh, looks like they're making a big pasta meal. Homemade pasta just hits different. You can eat as much as you want and not feel sick. I don't know what we're putting in our pasta in America. Oh, I know what they're making. They're making that big dish. What's it called? You put pasta in it, cheese, marinara sauce, hard-boiled eggs, meatballs. What's it called? What?
Timpano.
Timpano. Oh, look at that beauty. This is such a good movie. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. Tony Shalhoub and Stanley Tucci, your mouth will be salivating. Look at them touch the crispy exterior. Oh, yeah, like patting it like a baby's bum. I get it. Oh, look at them cut into it.
No, wait, cut.
That's like me when I'm like about to cut a cake and I realize the camera's not rolling. It's like, no, don't cut. You only get one chance to cut.
Let's go, come on. Christian, open the door.
Okay, please don't drop this. Yep, good. They made it safely to the table. The Cake Boss could never.
Timpano. It's a secret recipe.
It's kind of like a cake, just like with meat. So we gotta talk about this movie. If you've ever seen Good Burger, where Keenan and Kel are like mad because a big, massive chain burger restaurant is opening up next door, that's basically the plot of Big Night. And they came out within 1 year of each other. So did the Good Burger steal from Big Night? We may never know. You know that thing called twin movies where like two similar movies come out at the same time, like Ants and A Bug's Life? The filmmakers of Big Night are so mad at me for likening their film to Good Burger. Like I love food porn, not to be confused with food in porn. You know what I'm saying? Although, have you ever heard of that woman who sits on cakes? If things get rough, if you guys stop liking and subscribing and I don't get much ad revenue, I'm gonna have to open up an OnlyFans for sitting on cakes. All right, let's see where our next clip is from. My favorite movie. I love Bridesmaids and I love this scene. I found it so satisfying watching her. She was having like a bad day. She went home and like baked one beautiful cupcake. Relatable. I do that after a bad day. And you know what else I do after a bad day? I eat that cupcake. I can't remember if yeah, she's staring. She's like, no, I shouldn't. Should I? I can't. But I spent so much time on it, but I'm hungry. Come on, eat it, girl. Eat it. Eat that thing. Yeah, now that's a mouthful of fondant. Couple things I want to say about this. One, I don't know why she only made one cupcake. I mean, maybe she baked a whole batch and just did all that detail in one cupcake, because it would take a long time to make that flour. Sugar flours are an incredibly difficult thing to make. And I wonder if Kristen Wiig swapped out with like a professional who like only used her hands in close-ups to create that, because I doubt Kristen Wiig could do that. Like making cake flours is a rare skill that people have, and like most bakers can't even do it. It takes hours to create one flour. So it is realistic that she would only make one cupcake. The fact that she eats it right away, I relate to, because I spend hours and hours making a cake, days and days sometimes, and then I cut into it and eat it, and people like see my videos and say, doesn't it pain you to eat those cakes after you spent hours making them? I'm like, no, it's my favorite part. Another scene I love from Bridesmaids is after they all get food poisoning and she eats the Jordan almond and is like sweating and trying to pretend she doesn't have food poisoning. I talked about it before and I absolutely want to talk about it again. I love Rinse. This app has really changed my life. I do so much laundry. I'm constantly baking, constantly making a mess of my clothes, and I'm sick of doing a load every day. So I just log on to Rinse, schedule a valet pickup for that night or any other day. They come to my door, take my laundry away, and bring it back fresh, clean, and folded. Rinse offers expert cleaning. I can vouch for it. Everything they've ever washed for me has come back perfect, whether it's my basics, my schlubby like baking clothes, or my delicates. They even provide a hang dry option, and you can put your hang dry only items in that separate bag, which is nice. If you're not happy with your order, which I've always been very happy with Rinse, they offer the Rinse guarantee, which basically allows you to get your clothes re-washed at no additional cost. So if you want to try Rinse, you can go ahead and click the link in my description below for $25 off your first order, and your fees will be waived off that order. Well, bye. I'm waving at my feet. Bye, fees. It's me doing what they do when they waive fees. Okay, our next clip. Oh, Chef. I walked out of this movie, and I've only walked out of like 2 movies in my life. This is one of them, no offense. Wow. Okay, honestly, I don't know why I walked out of this movie. That looks delicious. So this is really interesting. Who's the character in this movie making this?
Jon Favreau?
You can tell it's like the Tasty style hands and pans where you don't see the person cooking. But what's funny about this, I bet they got a body double who actually knew how to cook, and they had to put all the same tattoos.
It's all him.
Wait, really?
Yeah, I think that, I mean, I'd have to check, but the whole thing is that like,
Oh, so Jon Favreau learned how to do this for the movie, or was he just a chef?
I think I'm not sure, but he's like, I think he's very into food.
My apologies to Jon Favreau. That's amazing that this is him doing it. I wonder why they don't give him more credit and show him in a wide shot. All right, time for our next clip. Let's see what this one's from. I hate you, whoever picked these clips.
The ice skate sole is breaking and my soul.
The ice skate sole is breaking and my soul is breaking. I'm so dramatic.
I'm sorry.
Okay, and cue the tears in 3, 2, 1. Look, get your
All I
together.
want to do right now is like throw in the towel, but that's the one thing that I can't do.
I can't throw in the towel.
Because all the kids who watch this show and come up to me and tell me they love it.
Oh God, this is, oh my God, PTSD. It's so hard for me to watch this.
They will care if I don't try my best.
Okay, so here's the situation. Let me paint a little picture. Did I cry on Is It Cake? Yes, I did. A little backstory. We are filming the show. We are filming these excruciatingly long days. We are up all night. We don't get any sleep. Imagine you on like the worst day of your life, and then imagine cameras in your face being like, we're gonna broadcast this day to more people than have ever seen you, ever. It's like not a great recipe for success. I had chosen the ice skate to turn into cake. And I was feeling pretty confident about picking the ice skate because I make shoe cakes all the time. The one thing I didn't think about was that ice skates stand atop like a blade, and there's like that heel, right, on the ice skate that has a really, really tricky, like kind of breaking point. So the chocolate sole I was making to put the entire cake on kept snapping at that point. It was like a weak point. So for half of this bake, at least, I was like trying to work on this sole and losing time on the rest of the cake. And I was like, there is no way I'm going to finish this cake. This cake was going so poorly, and I was sure I wasn't gonna have anything to show to the judges. So April was like, you should have the culinary team get you a white basic sheet cake, like from the grocery store, and make an edible print of an ice skate and just put it on top. And when the wall spins around and the judges have to guess which is the cake in the lineup of ice skates, they like know that it's a cake. And I was like, honestly, I wish I kind of had done that, to be honest, because that would have made for like a really funny moment. And I think like I could have laughed at that. What do you guys think? Are you glad I finished the ice skate? What would you give my ice skate cake? Some people say it's not that bad. I was really disappointed because I wanted to go back on Is It Cake All-Stars and be like, look how much I've grown and changed in the last 3 years. And it was even harder than the first time. So I was that's actually another reason why I was like nearly crying, is because I was like worried that y'all were gonna be like, you're a fraud. It did kind of work. It wasn't great. It wasn't my finest cake, but I'm shocked that I had anything to display. Okay, let's jump forward to the judging.
Jonny!
I was like, the wall hadn't spun and I was like almost in tears.
Judges, here we go.
Let me see if I can spot it. I forget which podium I put it on. It's on 2, I think. I think it's on 2.
Okay, I think it's 2.
2 is just too dirty.
But to me, that's what makes it cake.
But number 3 looks so
It's
damn
not 2.
perfect.
It's not 2.
It's too pretty.
No, because I wouldn't have put dirt on
can't
my
be
cake.
I think you're right. I think it's not 3. The lace on 4 looks perfect.
It looked like cake lace. Number 5.
Yeah, it's 4.
Wait on it.
It's not horrible. The sole is wacky. Honestly, I'm shocked I had anything to display, so good on me for putting something on a podium. Oh my God, don't show the back of my cake on camera. Gnarly. The laces look good. That's a lot of ganache on that cake. Look at me crying. Oh my God, I'm crying already. April's crying, kind of. Oh, I love April.
I'm so sorry, Jonny. You did an incredible job with this, my
Look at me
friend.
cry.
You are obviously insanely talented.
Thank you.
Yeah, Jonny!
Oh,
Friend, you
there we
already
go,
know
wiping
what
the
I'm going
tears.
to say,
I was so
but because you didn't
exhausted.
trick the judges, unfortunately, you are eliminated from the competition.
Oh no, Jonny. Oh no, oh no, Jonny. Oh no, he's going to go, oh no, oh no.
I'm actually not mad. Like, I'm so grateful. Oh my God, take a deep breath. The show changed my life.
It did change my life. I agree with that. I mean, this is a little dramatic for cake, but the show did change my life, and I was feeling very grateful. All right, well, it's over. I'll never have to compete on Is It Cake again. Oh my God, that was tough. Yes, fun fact, Mikey Day, nicest man in Hollywood. He treats the celebrity guests the exact same way he treats the contestants and the exact same way he treats the guy who sweeps the floor when we're done baking for the day. He is a class act. We love Mikey Day. And I kind of like have a crush on him. But he has a lovely hot wife, so don't worry. All right, let's leave Is It Cake behind. Oh my God, wait, did we mention? I'm wearing the same shirt today as I was wearing on Is It Cake. This is my bad luck shirt. Hope nothing like falls on me. All right, palette cleanser. What's our next clip?
You know what I love about cooking?
I love Julie and Julia.
I love that after a day when nothing is sure, and when I say nothing,
Preach.
I mean nothing.
Preach.
You can come home and absolutely know that if you add egg yolks to
Yep.
chocolate and
Yep.
sugar and milk.
I love this clip. Julie in Julie and Julia is like this sad sack woman who like has to deal with like the victims of like, sadly, 9/11. Oops. First 9/11 mention on my channel, I think.
None of these children know what 9/11 is. I'm so old.
And is like, hates her life, okay? She decides to start a blog and cook recipes from Julia Child's cookbook, The Art of French Cooking. And she has to cook the whole book in 1 year. And I just love this story because it's kind of how I feel about cooking. Like, I got into baking when I was like at a low point. My career wasn't working. I was trying to be an actor. Nothing was going right. I love this line. After a long day when nothing is sure, and I mean nothing, if you come home and add egg yolks to chocolate and sugar and milk, you know you're gonna get this beautiful thing. And I agree with that. I mean, sometimes baking doesn't work out and you get baking accidents. Like maybe you go on Is It Cake and have a real bad baking accident. But for the most part, like there is stability and assurance in something, right? Like I, with my hands, can make this thing. And I remember like when I was at my lowest in life, when like nobody wanted to hire me, I was working every odd job imaginable, everybody, things were just like so I got into baking and it was like this beautiful, beautiful thing for me. And it really did change my life. So I understand what she's saying. The saddest part about Julie and Julia is that, okay, relatable, them shoving chocolate cake in their face. The saddest part about Julie and Julia is that Julia Child, right before she died, went on record, and this is one time she ever mentioned Julie, the woman who like started this blog and built this empire. And she like talked shit about her and was like, I don't like her. Yeah. Can you imagine if your idol said that? That'd be like if Jonathan Bailey went on record saying, that Jonny Cakes is a creep and he needs to stop talking about how hot I am in my YouTube videos. Great, go watch Julia and Julia if you're feeling uninspired. Another inspiring thing, not only did Julie, restart her life by beginning to bake and cook, Julia Child was like a real late bloomer. She was just like having a ho-hum life and she got into cooking much later. I think she was like, what, in her 50s or 40s? Damn, that's amazing. You never know. There's a great Ann Curry quote that's like, maybe the greatest thing you'll ever do you haven't even thought of yet. Takes my breath away. Okay, let's move on to something stupid. Oh my God, I love this. I love this. This is my favorite TikTok.
One, hands up.
Watch it fall, watch it fall. The look of pain. I so get it. I literally so get it. That's me on Is It Cake. Here's the thing. You should never put children on television. The pressure of a baking competition is intense for a grown-ass man, let alone a little kid. What was she making, a purse out of Fruity Pebbles? Okay, here's how she could have saved herself. If she had used no butter in her Rice Krispie treat recipe and added a little bit of chocolate, it would have stabilized the Rice Krispie mixture or Fruity Pebble mixture and made for a firmer hold and it wouldn't have fallen over like that. But she's a kid, how was she supposed to know that? I wanna know where this woman is now. Let me see if I can find her. Okay, Abby Martin, a former contestant on Kids Baking Championship, has transitioned into college, majoring in mathematics education and is now actively teaching baking classes and taking custom orders. Wait, this is sweet. Oh, look at her. Oh my God, she's all grown up, you guys. Lesson to learn here, if you're a parent, don't let your child on reality competition shows. Do you guys remember Kid Nation? Deal with it.
But you're gonna have to deal with it. This is breakfast. Deal with it. They're gonna have to deal with it.
It was this reality show when I was in high school, and these kids started their own like society in an old abandoned Western town. And very quickly, this girl named Taylor became like a dictator. And it was like, oh no, this is like Lord of the Flies. Go watch Kid Nation if you haven't. That was crazy. Child abuse glorified. Okay, our next clip is from Nailed It. The best cake fails from Nailed It.
I don't mean to laugh.
Oh,
Your princess is
boy.
terrifying.
Is that supposed to be
She's
Rapunzel in a
scary
castle?
looking, and I don't think
Yep,
anybody's
look at that
coming to rescue
crackhead
her.
Rapunzel in that castle.
Oh no, and then your dragon got decapitated. Yes.
That's so funny. Actually, she did a pretty good job given the time period. I have one thing to say about Nailed It. Nailed It gives these people such a short time to bake, cool, decorate, frost their cakes that like my cakes would look like that. Like the beautiful, glamorous cakes that they make behind the scenes, those take hours, sometimes days to make. In fact, my friend Monica, who also does the behind the scenes cakes for Is It Cake, made those cakes for Nailed It. And she works really hard and she's an expert and she takes a long time to make them. So they're kind of setting these people up for failure. This is my favorite cake in Nailed It history. When I first saw this Trump cake, I laughed out loud for like a full 5 minutes. Look at this. That is Trump on Ozempic.
So if you nailed it. You're right.
Oh my God. I love the hair. She did a good job with the hair. Is that corn silk or pasta? You can use like corn silk, like the string from corns that you shuck off, as hair on cakes because it's technically edible and it looks thin like hair. That is maybe the worst thing I've ever seen on Nailed It.
I got there. It's good. The hair is great.
About to fly away.
I love this one.
What is going on with the red around his
Yeah,
eyes?
the red around his
One eye
eyes is
actually
crazy.
looking at me, one eye is
But
looking at
Trump
Jay.
sometimes looks
Your Trump looks
up
like
like that.
distress
I think
is
she really got
gotten
the
to
essence
him.
of Trump.
You guys the real deal.
I can credit Nailed It with being probably the biggest reason I got into baking because, like I said, when I was sad and unsuccessful and unemployed, I was watching a lot of baking competition shows, and I remember watching Nailed It and being like, if these people can do it, I can do it. The cool thing is, and it was sort of a full circle moment, is like about 3 years after I started baking, I got on Is It Cake, and Is It Cake is produced by the same people that produced Nailed It, and I told them, I was like, thank you for having me. I want you to know that Nailed It inspired me to start baking, and I can't believe like I'm here now. They were like, how did you learn how to bake in 3 years? And I was like, well, hang on a second, I'm not gonna be very good on season 1, let's just put it that way. And they had to eat it on stage. Okay, our next clip is from Great British Bake Off. I know this well, Bingate. This was a big deal when it happened. So Diana took Ian's ice cream out of the freezer and left it on her like bench, and it melted. And so when he went to frost his like baked Alaska or whatever he was making, the ice cream didn't hold up. And then he threw away his melted cake disaster in the bin. I love how British people talk. Not the trash can, the bin. He shouldn't have thrown it away. Here's what I'll say. He shouldn't have thrown it away. He should have served the judges and said, this was not my fault, this was my contestant's fault. A lot of people thought that Diana was sabotaging him, but she's come out, I think, and said that she only left it out for like 30 seconds, but the show made it seem like she left it out for like forever. So basically, her argument, I think, was like, no, his ice cream was not made correctly. It wasn't my fault. This is a tricky one. I would be pissed if this happened to me. I'd be pissed, but it seems like maybe he is to blame as well. I think he wouldn't have been kicked off on this episode had he served the cake as it was, even if it was melty. What do you guys think of Bingate? Who's to blame here? Part of me thinks they're both to blame, but part of me thinks that like him throwing away the cake was the reason he got eliminated because he had nothing to serve. Okay, speaking of baking show gates, do a lot of research on Bingate if you want. Please don't search Tomatogate. Please don't search Tomato. I'll just tell you actually. Tomatogate happened on season 1 of Is It Cake. I put gelatin tomatoes that I had made on a real taco decoy, and the judges thought that taco was cake, and people were so mad at me. People were messaging me hateful shit. There were like fraternities and sororities that were like bombarding my inbox, people saying I should die of AIDS, like people saying I know where your mother lives, I'm gonna kill her. It was crazy. I was like, you're this upset about a baking show? Wait until you find out about like, global warming. People need to redirect their anger. Anyway, Tomatogate like really made me sad, and like at a time when I wish I was like celebrating the success of Is It Cake, I was like in my house freaking out because I was like had death threats being sent to me on the daily. Anyway, let me know in the comments if you think I cheated on Is It Cake. All right, so I've watched all the clips, I've reacted to them, I've tried to give some of my like guidance of how I would do things differently. I'm gonna pick my favorite clip of the day. It's a tough one. The bridesmaids clip was satisfying, the big night clip was so delicious, but honestly, I think my favorite clip of the day was that poor little girl crying on the kids baking championship. Am I horrible that I think kids crying on TV is funny? Let me know in the comments what your favorite clip was and what I should review next. We'll see you next time. Happy baking.